So in order to begin setting up your settings, you'll need to be within Nomi CRM. And once you're in Nomi CRM, on the left menu, go to Accountant Setup. And then you'll see many different tabs along here. And I'm just going to walk you through each one of these and what they are and what they do one by one. So the first one we're in is our practice. So this is all of our practice details. Essentially, you can set up your own practice so that all of the documents and all of the email templates that are created throughout the whole of Nomi will be customized to your practice. So you can select the type of company you are, or sorry, I should say the type of entity your accounting practice is, whether it's a limited company, an LLP, partnership or sole trade, your company name, company number, what country you're incorporated in, etc. You'll be able to choose what bookkeeping profile is yours. So by selecting this drop down, it will connect your compliance and pull through a list of all of the bookkeeping profiles. And then you can select exactly which one is yours so that when you invoice within Nomi CRM, those invoices will be stored within your bookkeeping profile. You'll also be able to choose a bank account, and that bank account will determine what bank you would like to be paid to when you raise those sales invoices. Your email, website, telephone, and your logo. Your logo will be used automatically within letters of engagement, quotes, proposals, and anywhere else that it appears. Okay, so you've got a practice tagline. Now that could be anything like beautiful accounting or something like that. That's entirely down to you what your practice is using. And then we've got brand colors, so primary, secondary, and tertiary. I've already set this up as Nomi's colors, but to change these, you just select them. If you know the RGB, you can enter that, or HSL, or hex. So alternatively, if you're not sure what the color is, you can use our color picker, and then it will go through and allow you to select a color on screen, and it will pick that up automatically for you. And then finally, you've got your director's details. Now, there may be multiple directors in your practice, but this is the one that will be signing off on all documentation. Okay, so we go ahead and press save. And then the next tab we have is our comms. So this is setting up emails, SMS. Essentially, it's short for communications, if you didn't already guess. But with the SMTP, so this allows you to connect Nomi to your emails so that you can send emails directly from the system. You can use our default setup. Essentially, you would just enter your email address and press save. That will then send an email to that email address with a link. And all you would have to do is click that link. On the little modal here, it does say once you click on save, please check your email. You would receive an email from Amazon AWS, which is the provider that we use for that service. You've also got the ability to provide your own SMTP. So if I select that, you'll notice a lot more information. You can get this by Googling your email provider followed by SMTP details. And you'll be able to get all of this and fill it in manually if you prefer to do that way. And then we've got our SMS setup. So by entering a sender ID and press save, you'll then be able to send SMS messages directly to your leads, clients, and contacts from the system. But it'll be a one-way SMS, so they'll only be able to read it. So it's really important that the sender ID you choose displays a name that your client will know. Okay, and then we've got our letter sign off. So this is all of the letters that are automatically generated in the system. It will just have your signature at the bottom. You could paste a signature in here if you wanted to, because it does accept images. Alternatively, you could just put yours sincerely. Save. Okay, so that's that. The next section we've got is workflows. So this is actually a little bit more. I'm not going to say complicated, but this is more in the realms of actually beginning to automate some of your tasks. And we thought about this from a lead perspective as well. So how can you actually get your leads to contact you? Once you've added your lead into your database, many practices will just have them in a database and never contact them again, never call them again. But with this, you can set up an automated email that would send a reminder that their confirmation statement is due and potentially offer to help them with it if they need help. So what you can do, this one here is lead confirmation statement marketing email. You have the option to turn it off, but I'll turn it on. You can view the email that would be sent. So in this example, dear first name, the confirmation statement filing due date for company name, registration number is tomorrow. Please do let us know if you need our help to file this before its deadline date of. So it's just sending an email to the lead, letting them know that their confirmation statement is due. So you can send an email to the lead, or you can send an email to the lead owner. Now, if you send it to the lead, it's going to be a direct contact that's going to prompt them to get in touch with you. Whereas if you send it to the lead owner, you're essentially enabling your members of staff or yourself to have automated automated reminders to actually contact these leads at points in time that could potentially convert that lead into a client. Okay, and then you can select the number of days before or after either the confirmation statement due date or the confirmation statement date. So you can customize that. And you'd also be able to customize the email content that goes along with that. Now, in addition to confirmation statements, we've also got year-end accounts. We've got client confirmation statement deadlines. So instead of sending emails just to leads, we also have the ability to send it to your clients as well to remind them that their confirmation statement is due. And this one is more in line with requesting details. So it could be an email that says, your confirmation statement's due, we need this information in order to file it. So here, for example, the confirmation statement filing due date for is upcoming. Please work with your account manager. And then it could say Ashley to make sure that this is filed before its deadline date to avoid any penalties. Okay. And then you've also got year-end accounts, confirmation statement approval requests, and then client company status changed alert. And then at the bottom here, you can actually create your own workflows. So this is slightly more complicated, but essentially you can select new workflow, select which module it relates to, and then give that a description. And then decide what conditions apply to this. And then you can choose the next VAT period due date is less than 2 days ago, is current month, is previous month, more than 10 days ago, in less than 1 day, or let's say 3 days. And then next. And then we can add a task. So send an email. Email reminder for VAT. So from me to client. And then the subject. Oh, so here we could say the email address. Sorry, on the right hand side you've got your placeholders that you can populate into these fields, and then we can say VAT return due filing reminder, and you can pull through a placeholder if you wanted to. So we could say next due date. Okay, then we can go ahead and begin populating that email. Press save, and then finish. And then that adds it into our list of workflows. Just below here as well, I didn't mention it, but you can be automatically CC'd into an email whenever the client company status changes at Company's House. So on Company's House, if it changes from active to pending to be dissolved, then you would receive an automated update via email letting you know that. And the next section we've got is pricing. So this actually enables you to completely customize your pricing module, which is used when you're generating quotes and proposals. It's essentially your checklist of different services, and it determines what price you charge for each of your different services. So on the right hand side, you've got packages, and on the left side, you've got services. So services can be grouped into packages. So if we go into services, you'll see here, this is a list of all of your potential different services that you could potentially offer to your lead, and you can add new services accordingly. So we could call this cryptocurrency tax advice. You can say this is to private clients and private business types. The category that it falls within, so this is for reporting purposes, we can say advisory. It's VAT applicable because I am VAT registered. The pricing driver I want this to be is advisory hours. The category is tax and accountancy, and the service sold category, you could have it as recurring / ongoing, with a package only, or ad hoc, or both. So I'm actually going to go with both for this one. And one advisory hour I'm going to do at the rate of £100. And save. Now that would then be added as a service, and then when you are producing a quote for a client that is a private client type, so if I go in here, test pick lists, and then next, we should then see cryptocurrency tax advice. So if I go ahead and select that, then you've got the number of hours, so we can say 10. Because it's at £100, we should expect to see that in as £1,000. Yeah. So there, we've got it as £1,000. So that is how you can add additional services. So we'll go ahead, leave that, and go back to pricing. You've also got the ability to include selected services and packages during quote creation. Yes. That essentially changes the way pricing works. I'll go into that in more detail in another video because it is quite a bit of functionality, and I want to keep this video short. The maximum discount for ad hoc services, so you can change that to limit users from giving too much of a discount out. Whether or not to display individual service price in the custom quote PDF. So when you generate the PDF, this will determine whether or not each individual price will be displayed on the quote, or just a total. So it will say a tick. If you select no, it will show you a load of ticks that say that the services are included. And if it's not included, because you're providing a comparative column, then it will show you a cross. And then at the bottom, it will just give you a total price. Whereas if you select yes, then it will show you each individual price instead of ticks and crosses, and then a total. Okay, so that is the pricing. With web forms, this actually allows you to add a form to your website, which someone can then complete. And once they submit that form, it will be added as a lead into Nomi CRM. So this, for example, if I go in and create a web form, you'd be able to give it a name. So we could say, in the case of your website, you could say home page, and then the return URL will be a thank you page that you create on your homepage. So we could say, when they submit this form, return them to nomi.co.uk/thank you. And then you can select what fields you would like to gather, and this automatically links into the lead profile. And you'd also be able to edit these form labels if you'd like, and you can also populate default values. So yeah, if you wanted to change, say, email to email address, you could have that, phone number, postcode, and company name. So we'll save that. Oh, sorry. Also, you can also select whether or not it's a mandatory field or a hidden field. So we'll save that. Now that web form has been created, so I called it homepage, and then you can get the HTML code, which you would then add to your website. Or you also have iframe code if that's what your web developer prefers. So moving on to letter of engagement. So this is some additional information which will be used to populate your letter of engagement. So you've got your continuity accountant name, address, terms and conditions URL. You could also, if you didn't want to use our template, you can upload your own template. That will prompt you to upload a PDF document containing your letter of engagement. You've got your escalate too, so this is the main contact for all escalations. It will be explained in the letter of engagement. Then we've got our e-signature settings. So you can decide whether or not you would like to include a director guarantee letter. This essentially means if you're signing up a limited company as a client, the director will guarantee to pay any debts to you if the company defaults or closes. You've also got your authorized signatory. You can upload an e-signature. So if you wanted to draw a copy of your signature on a piece of paper and then scan it in, you can upload that here. And then you can also BCC yourself into all letter of engagements that get sent if you would like to have that little bit of control as to what's happening with the practice. You can choose how you would like to send your quotes. So you do have the option of a PDF or a HTML link. The HTML link will actually allow your lead to accept or decline the quote, which is really useful. On the quote format, so you can select which version you prefer. By selecting the PDF, it will actually open a preview. Okay, and then we've got the letter of engagement, and again, you can select which version you prefer here. Your quote introduction, so this is how you would like the start of your quote to read. So you can completely customize this. You can do a little bit of a about us or an introduction to your practice. And then if you have any awards or any accreditations, you can also upload them here. Okay, so the next section we've got is KYC. And this actually allows you to completely automate KYC. So you can run through the settings, and by enabling this and setting this up, you can make Nomi send emails out which will allow your client to update details about themselves and actually get a pass or fail status. And you'll be notified of the result of these digital KYC submissions. Again, I won't run through this in too much detail because I'll save that for another video. Here we've got our templates. So any of the templates that have been created within Nomi, you can edit and you can customize them. So if you didn't like something within the engagement letter, you can come here, select edit, and then you'd be able to update that section. So when you are updating this, please do be careful with the tags, because you will need to make sure that you're using the $signs so that the placeholders are pulled through automatically. And then we've got onboarding. So at the end of the onboarding process, you do actually have a customized task list. And this can be completely custom to your practice. So you can add absolutely anything you like here, and make it a task that needs to be done during the onboarding process. So for example, you could say set meeting at Costa, if that was your go-to place to meet your new leads. And then we've also got our contract. So once your lead signs a contract, you can decide where they get redirected. So this is a real nice feature because you can really control the entire experience. Essentially, when you send a contract, it will be sent via email. They'll click on a link. They'll then view the contract, sign the contract, and then at the end of that experience, they'll be sent to a web page of your choice. So you could have a website that's dedicated for new leads, and you could say, welcome, we're so excited to be working with you. Here's the next steps. If you need anything, here's our contact details. And you could even get them to bookmark that page if you wanted to. But it's your way of customizing that experience and essentially saying thank you. Here we've got the payment details, so you can add as many different payment types as you like. You'll be able to select these during the quote and contract process. But essentially, if I select new payment type, you can then select from standing order, Stripe, PayPal, or Go Cardless. If I select standing order, you can enter your bank details. If I was to select Go Cardless, you can enter your access token or client, and if there's a client fee for using this payment method. You can also edit the direct debit and bank transfer that's already on there. The next section we've got is agent authorization. So this is just all of your HMRC login credentials. You may not have them for every different type of tax. However, we know some practices that have got this problem. Either they've acquired other firms or they have limited companies just for one tax type. So that's why they're all here. Then we've got our company's house section. So this allows you to enter your presenter ID, presenter authentication code, and then some other details so that you can actually file directly with Company's House through Nomi, because we do have company secretarial services. So you can incorporate companies, submit confirmation statements. But you've also got the ability to turn this on or off. You can also select whether or not you receive emails regarding CS submissions. So by enabling Nomisma will automatically send emails to account managers for every company secretarial submission, whether it is accepted or rejected. And then we've also got, do you want to send automated CS01 approval requests to clients? You can then automate the CS01 submissions as well if you wish. And the icons explain exactly what happens there as well. Again, I'll create another video explaining exactly how that works. And then we've got the invoicing section. So here you can decide whether or not you would like to create invoices through Nomi CRM. And then you've got some bank details that would appear on the on the sales invoice, as well as the invoice email template that you can update. The next bit I've got is users. So within the user section, you can add new users, you can edit user settings as well, and you can decide whether or not they have timesheet access. So if you want to enable timesheet, you can say, are you sure you want to edit timesheet? And then that will enable them so that they can begin recording time in the bottom right-hand corner. If they have no, they will not be able to edit the time that they've recorded. Then we've got email settings. So in comms, we actually made it so that you can send email by entering your SMTP details. But in order to receive email into Nomi, you'll also need to enter your incoming server details. So you can do this by selecting Gmail, Office 365, or other mail. But if I go ahead and select Office 365, you'll just need to enter your username and password, and then it will connect for you. And essentially what this will do is it will mirror your email inbox, and it will group all of the emails by clients, contacts, and leads, so that when you go into the email section of a client, contact, or lead, you will be able to see all emails sent and received. Okay. Within the user email setup, you'll be able to see who has done that process. So everyone can connect their own inbox to Nomi, and then you'll be able to see emails across everyone in your practice rather than just yourself, which makes life a little bit easier when it comes to managing your practice. Here we've got our signature. So you can actually customize your email signature across your entire practice and decide exactly what appears. So in this example, you can see the first name and last name would be replaced whenever they send an email. We have outgoing server here as well, and this essentially just mimics what you've already entered in your comms. Okay. Then we've got fee protector. So what this does, if you enable this, you've got various different variables that you would have to connect, and essentially this looks at your clients and it will look at their turnover, the number of transactions they process, pay slips processed, payroll frequency, type of payslip, pensions, CIS subcontractors, and P11D produced. And it will compare what is in compliance with what you've quoted them during the quote and contract process. So if a client does exceed your quoted amounts, then it will send an email notification to the client owner to say, let's say they've been quoted turnover £100,000. However, within Nomi bookkeeping, they've actually got turnover of £150,000. So it will send an email to the client owner to say, your client has exceeded the agreed turnover. You might want to get in touch with them to raise an additional invoice or readjust the quote. So this essentially combats scope creep, and it allows you to essentially be notified whenever you could potentially have scope creep, and then you can make the decision as to what you would like to do with that. So there's many different variables in here. These are all of the variables that are created with services. So you can see here cryptocurrency income, for example. So what you would do is select which one relates to the driver on the left menu. Yeah, so yearly turnover could match with turnover. So I'm not going to go ahead and save that. I'll save that one for another video. Here we've got pick lists. So you can actually add additional values to different pick lists within Nomi. So in leads, for example, if you wanted to add additional services, you can add a value. You can rename values as well if they're not the default ones, and you can also delete values. So if we go ahead and add a value here, we can say cryptocurrency tax advice. And now I could delete that, rename that, etc. And you could also reorder them if you wanted to. But when you go into a lead, add a new lead, or edit leads, you'll be able to select that from your services drop down. Okay. You could do that for all pick lists as well. So this is how you can really customize Nomi and make it extremely powerful. Another example is offer codes. So you can add additional offer codes. Yeah, so you'll know what that offer is. And then the last one we've got here is our checklist. So this is actually in relation to task management on the left menu. And if I go into add a checklist, you'd be able to enter a checklist name. Let's say year end accounts that registered. And then when you're creating tasks, you'll be able to select the checklist that relates to that task. And this checklist would act as a subtask list so that you would know what needs to be done in order to complete the task. So we could say obtain bank statements. Let's go 44 days before the main due date. and then email reminder on due date. So we can select that to receive an email reminder. And then we can say perform VAT reconciliation. And we can do that 30 days. So when we save that, that will then be saved as a checklist. And then when we go in task management, and let's say we add a new task, you'll see that the checklist that you can select in your tasks. So that is it for the settings. I hope you found this useful. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you. Bye.